This conference will now be recorded. This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, this is my Satyasri. చూస్తున్నావా పూజిత? కార్తీక కృష్ణవంశీ. ఏమైనా లెఫ్ట్? అప్పుడే లెఫ్ట్ అయిపోయాడు పాపం. కార్తీక Reshma. So the gallbladder is related to, am I audible, Pavan?
Yes, sir.
So this is my favorite question. The gallbladder and bile ducts, they are related to 4B and 5. So in case of malignancy of the gallbladder, why I have specifically shown this slide is, in the malignancy of the gallbladder or bile ducts, so it usually, to get the free margin, tumor free margin, you have to remove these segments also most of the times. Okay, that is the reason why I have shown this particular. And carcinoma of the gallbladder and cholangiocarcinoma are relatively rare, 1.2 per 1 lakh population in the United States. However, it is the most common biliary tract cancer. So all the structures in the biliary tract, what are the structures? Intrahepatic ductules, left and right hepatic ducts, common hepatic duct, cystic duct, common bile duct, gallbladder, and ampulla of Vater and all those things. So it is the gallbladder is the commonly affected part. That is the commonly affected in carcinoma, so the biliary tract, and is the 5th most common gastrointestinal cancer. And first, what is the first? అంటే కనపడేంటే మీకు క్వశ్చన్ ఉంటుంది. వాట్ ఈస్ ద ఫస్ట్ క్యాన్సర్? కామనెస్ట్ క్యాన్సర్ ఆఫ్ ది గ్యాస్ట్రోఇంటెస్టినల్ ట్రాక్ట్?
కోలోరెక్టల్ గా.
కోలోరెక్టల్ స్టమక్? అంటే కోలోరెక్టల్. ఓకే, ఆ రెండు అట్లా క్లాష్ అనమాట బిట్వీన్ కోలోరెక్టల్ అండ్ స్టమక్. సో కోలోరెక్టల్, నెక్స్ట్ ఈజ్ స్టమక్. థర్డ్ మోస్ట్ కామన్ ఏంటి మరి? సో అక్కడ నుంచి ఇంకా మళ్ళీ మనం పెద్దగా పట్టించుకోము. ప్యాంక్రియాటిక్ క్యాన్సర్స్, హెపాటిక్ క్యాన్సర్స్, తర్వాత ఇది హెప్టోసెల్యులర్ కార్సినోమా అండ్ దిస్ వన్, ప్రాబ్లీ దిస్ వన్. ఇంకా అంతకంటే కామన్ ఏమన్నా, సారీ, ఈసోఫేషియల్ క్యాన్సర్స్ ఆర్ ఆల్సో వెరీ కామన్. ఓకే, next this hepatobiliary pancreas will come, and 5th one is the probably this gallbladder. The highest incidence among Chileans, American Indians are residents in parts of the northern India, because we have already seen in northern India the incidence of gallstones is common. So gallstones are one of the important precursors, pre-malignant condition, not pre-malignant, predisposing conditions for the carcinoma of the gallbladder. The female is to male is 3:1. The disease is usually present in 7th or 8th decade. So this is advanced old age. Oh. So this coming to the etiology, 3% of the gallstones with cholecystitis will develop carcinoma of the gallbladder. So 3% of the gallstone cases. So the gallstone itself is very highly prevalent and very common disease. So of all the gallstone cases, 3% will turn into carcinoma. Carcinoma of the gallbladder, 90% of the carcinoma of the gallbladders is associated with the gallstones. Okay, 90%. If you take any case of carcinoma of the gallbladder, in 90% of the cases there will be gallstones. So gallstones is an important predisposing factor for the occurrence of carcinoma of the gallbladder. And this is another important, porcelain gallbladder. What is this? Porcelain gallbladder అంటే ఏంటి? Calcifications in the mucosa and all those things, spreading entire gallbladder. So calcifications. So that is also very important, and it is definitely a pre-malignant condition. See, it is more prone for malignant transformation. ఇది మన సుహాస్ సారు ఫేవరెట్ క్వశ్చన్. పోర్సిన్ gallbladder అంటే it is a pre-malignant condition for carcinoma of the gallbladder అని చెప్పాలి. Choledochal cyst, cholestalosis. సో కొలెస్ట్రాలోసిస్ నిన్న చూసాం కదా, కొలెస్ట్రాలోసిస్, పాలిపోసిస్, అడినోమాటస్ పాలిపోసిస్, గ్లాండ్యులర్ ప్రొలిఫరెన్స్, ఇవన్నీ కూడా డైవర్టిక్యులర్, ఆల్ దీస్ ఆర్ ప్రిడిస్పోజ్ టు మాలిగ్నెన్సీ. And chronic infections, so for example typhoid varies, typhoid cholecystitis, and in the common bile duct, irritable bowel syndromes, diseases, irritable bowel disease, hepatitis B and C virus infections, and presence of adenomatous anomalous pancreatico-biliary junction. ఇది ఒక ఇంపార్టెంట్ క్వశ్చన్ కొందరు అడుగుతారు. APBJ అంటే ఏంటి? With a long common channel between the bile duct and pancreatic duct. ఆ రెండు కలుస్తాయి కదా, that common bile duct and pancreatic duct, both of them will join and form the apple of water kada. So if that tract is very big, that means the common bile duct and pancreatic duct join, and there will be lengthy common duct, a very much big common duct, which is a predisposing factor. That is called APBJ. It is also a predisposing factor because of chemical irritations are very common in these conditions. So chronic cholecystitis and all those things are common. So that is also a predisposing factor. And gallbladder polyps and the nitrosamines also. Nitrosamines are particular in carcinoma of the stomach, but they also cause carcinoma of the gallbladder also. And radon carcinogens, so radioisotopic radon, and exposure to the employees or workers in the rubber industry, and certain medications like oral contraceptives and INH. The INH ఎక్కడ వాడతారు? tuberculosis లో వాడతారు. They will rarely cause the carcinoma of the gallbladder. So what is the common factor in all these cases? The common fact is chronic irritation and chronic inflammation. So most of the cases are due to viral infections or bacterial infections or gallstones, polyps, and all those things. And the common most of the cases, the common factor is chronic inflammation. So chronic inflammation is the causative agent, causative factor which predispose to hyperplasia and subsequent malignant degeneration. So this is the common risk factor in all the cases. So the same risk factors చెప్పాం కదా, ఇది APBDJ, abnormal pancreatico-biliary duct junction, choledochal cyst, primary sclerosing cholangitis. So in the diagrammatic form. So chronic irritation is the commonest cause, and as you have seen, 90% of the cases there will be gallstones. So carcinoma in situ and dysplasia. So first there will be, due to chronic irritation, there will be dysplasia, then carcinoma in situ, and finally it becomes invasive carcinoma. The amount of time for the progression from dysplasia to cancer in gallbladder is estimated to be approximately 15 years, 15 to 20 years. That means the presence of gallstones, and they must be present in the gallbladder more than 15 years, then only it may cause cancer, because the repeated chronic inflammations and infections. So the dysplasia will turn into invasive carcinoma only after 15 to. For example, the patient is having gallbladder stones for 5 or 6 years duration. He may not develop carcinoma. So carcinoma it will take a lot of time for progression of dysplasia to carcinoma in situ and invasive carcinoma. It takes more than 15 years. And majority of the gallbladder cancer, most of the associated adenomatous polyps. So if the polyp is there, risk of malignancy in a polyp was associated with the increasing age. So if the polyp is, as the days goes on, with the increasing age, 1%, the polyp is more than 1 centimeter, it will turn into malignancy. It may turn into malignancy. And see the genetic abnormalities. See, 86% of the gallbladder adenomas and carcinomas was P53 mutation. The P53 అంటే ఏంటిది? Tumor suppressor gene, కదా? P53 is one of the tumor suppressor genes. So దాని mutation ఉండి, so there will not be any, అంటే P53 is important gene which promotes apoptosis. Apoptosis, thereby it increases the physiological death of the cells when they are not necessary. So that apoptosis means cell death. So that will be inhibited because of the in these cases. Okay, and there will be KRAS mutation has been found in 39% of the gallbladder cancers. KRAS ఇంకెక్కడ ఉంటుంది? Almost in all majority of the adenocarcinomas, these mutations are common. Okay, P53 mutation, KRAS, CA colon. చెప్పారుగా CA colon లో ఫస్ట్ APC జీను, తర్వాత ఈ KRASలు ఇవన్నీ కూడా ఇన్వాల్వ్ అవుతాయి. And there is also over expression of the CERB-B2 and decreased expression of the NM23 gene. Just గుర్తున్న తోటి గుర్తు పెట్టుకోండి. ఈ CERB-B2 carcinoma of the breast లో కూడా కామన్. So all these are common genetic abnormalities. ఈ genetic mutations are for the common malignancies like breast, colon, gallbladder, liver, pancreas. Almost the genetic abnormalities are almost same. CERB-B2, P53 mutations, and KRAS, and all those things. And some specific cancers will have specific, apart from these, specific genetic mutations and abnormalities. The cyclin D1 అంటే గుర్తొస్తుందా? A positive regulator of the cell cycle. So cell cycle, what are the stages in cell cycle? G1S, G2P, కదా? G2M. G1S అంటే synthetic phase, where RNA will be, DNA will be duplicated. G2 అంటే mitosis start అవుద్ది. G2M is M అంటే mitosis start అయ్యి the cell will get retired. అక్కడ they are ఈ cyclin D1లు ఇవన్నీ కూడా they are very important are the checkpoints. Suppose if there is any abnormality in the synthesis or duplication of the DNA at the time of cell cycle, these checkpoints will promote the removal of that cell, and it will send them to apoptosis. So all these things there will be derangement. So what is the peculiarity of the tumors? Tumor oncology, they will avoid all these things. They will survive all these cell cycle regulators, this genetic mutations, and they avoid apoptosis and all those things. So tumor biology చదవండి ఒకసారి. And most of the cancers of the gallbladder are occurring in the fundus. So 60% will occur in the fundus, and 30% is the body, and 10% is at the neck. Okay, this is the usual distribution of. Santoshini, present sir, good morning. Harika, ipude vachavamma. So this is the histological classification. ఏది వచ్చింది? This is a histological classification. So what is the most common carcinoma? Because it is having columnar epithelium kada, it is a part of GIT kabatti, adenocarcinoma is the most common. So papillary adenocarcinoma, mucinous adenocarcinoma, and when there is chronic irritation, sometimes there can be squamous cell carcinoma, and others like adenosquamous and wart cell carcinoma, and rarely lymphomas and sarcomas. This is the histological classification, the various types of malignancies that can occur in the gallbladder. And the morphology, that is the various types of the morphology, it can be of three types. ఇది మీకు hepatocellular carcinoma చెప్పినప్పుడు చెప్పాను how the tumor morphology. So infiltrative type, nodular type, and papillary type, or combination of any of these things. So infiltrative type ante there will be more infiltration to the liver and lymph nodes. Nodular ante relatively less than infiltrative type, and there will be more infiltration to the liver and lymph nodes. Whereas papillary type, there will be less infiltration to the liver. అంటే గాల్ బ్లాడర్ నుంచి ఆ 4B 5 లకు తొందరగా వెళ్ళదు. దిస్ papillary type, and sometimes they may be having small peduncles. So they will be growing into the gallbladder only instead of going into the extra gallbladder tissues. So there will be less infiltration, less penetration to the surrounding structures, papillary. So the prognosis will be better in case of papillary carcinoma. So infiltrative, nodular, papillary are combination. At one part it may be infiltrative, at other part it may be nodular type. All those things can happen. And most of the times the tumors are nodular and infiltrative. Most of the times the tumors are nodular and infiltrative. Ante mani there will be more penetration, more infiltration to the liver and lymph nodes. And majority of the cases in initial stages, the patients are asymptomatic. So by the time the patient develops symptoms and he comes to the hospital, because the morphological type is nodular and infiltrative, by the time the patient comes to the hospital, it is already very well advanced. So this is the problem with pancreas and gallbladder liver tumors. Pancreas is somewhat better in the, because there will be early manifestation, because the steatorrhea and backache and all those things, epigastric pain radiating to the back and all those things. Whereas the gallbladder and hepatocellular carcinomas, majority, by the time the patient comes to us, they are in the very advanced stages, and the morbidity and mortality are very high. So that is the peculiarity of this gallbladder stone. See, you can see a lot of gallbladder stones are there. See, this wall is transforming to malignancy. See, poorly differentiated adenocarcinoma. So in the wall, because the chronic inflammation caused by these gallstones repeatedly, so many, probably there are so many gallstones are there. So and they may be of longer duration. So it causes dysplasia, carcinoma in situ, and in this case overgrowth. So this is the common presentation. I already told you 90% of the carcinoma gallbladder cases, they will have associated gallstones. Whereas all the gallstone patients will not develop carcinoma. They will develop only after 15 to 20 years. Only 2 to 3% of all gallstone cases will develop carcinoma. See, this is proliferative lesion of the proliferative or fungating lesion. See, Schirrus type, where there will be more. See, there is cholesterosis. And cholesterosis at the strawberry gallbladder. So the strawberry gallbladder has turned into Schirrus type of carcinoma. So these are all predisposing factors, and there is associated gallstones also present. The egg color is తెలుస్తుందిగా, multifaceted, black pigmented, and there can be some amount of cholesterol also, probably mixed stone. See, this is papillary carcinoma, where there will be, and this will have better prognosis because it grows into the lumen of the gallbladder instead of infiltrating into the surrounding liver and lymph nodes. So there will be infiltration, but when compared to nodular and infiltrative type, this papillary carcinoma is having a better prognosis. Of course, this is the histology where you can see the glandular structure. So that means it is well differentiated. When the glandular pattern is maintained, so it is well differentiated. So when it is well differentiated, definitely there will be better prognosis. See, clear cell adenocarcinoma. Clear cell adenocarcinoma. This is one variant of adenocarcinoma where there will be clear cells. This is also very aggressive tumor, clear cell adenocarcinoma. This squamous cell carcinoma. Different this. Why squamous cell carcinoma is occurring? Suppose there is any diverticulum there and there is a stone inside, so there will be constant irritation. In such cases, there will be usually squamous cell carcinoma. And the same thing will happen in bladder diverticulosis also. Bladder diverticulosis also. But routinely, the carcinoma, the common carcinoma is adenocarcinoma. But very rarely, squamous cell carcinoma also can occur. Like papillary is type of adenocarcinoma. What is that? We have one port cell carcinoma. There are types of adenocarcinomas. Squamous cell carcinoma, sarcomas, and all those things can occur in the gallbladder. See, you can see the invasion. See this growth. This growth is invading into the vessels, invading into the muscle tissue. See, this is all muscle tissue. What is this? The fat కనపడుతుంది అంటే ఏంది? There will not be any submucosa in this gallbladder. So కాబట్టి ఇది subserosal fat అయి ఉంటుంది కదా. See, the tumor is infiltrating the muscle coat. This is the glandular epithelium. Okay, glandular epithelium. And squamous cell carcinoma, as I have shown you, also can occur. What is this characteristic finding? What do you call this? This squamous cell carcinoma. ఏమంటారు వీటిల్ని?
Keratin pearls.
Very good. Keratin pearls is characteristic of squamous cell carcinoma. That will be there. Wherever there is squamous cell carcinoma, histologically there will be pearls by which they will do diagnosis. So spread. So after microscopy, macroscopic types and morphology and histological types, let us go to the spread. Hematogenous, lymphatic, direct extension, surgical wound tracts by droplet implantation, and perineural spread. Because there will be nerve supply to the gallbladder also from vagus nerve and all those things. Both sympathetic and parasympathetic. Through those nerves also, there can be perineural spread to the other structures. So the main part of lymphatic drainage is to the retropancreatic nodes. Nodes along the cystic duct and common bile duct, and then to nodes posterior to the duodenum and pancreatic head. The A channel. So the main pathway of the lymphatic drainage is to retropancreatic nodes. Nodes along the cystic duct. ఏమంటారు దీన్ని? Nodes along the cystic duct. The node in the Keller's triangle, what do you call that?
Nodes of Lund.
Lymph node of Lund. So any examination అడిగేటివి. And the other pathway is the cholecystoceliac pathway through the gastrohepatic ligament to celiac lymph nodes. And third lymphatic drainage is to cholecystomesenteric pathway posterior to the pancreas to aortocaval lymph nodes. So this lymphatic spread is very important for the extended resections and radical resections of the gallbladder carcinoma. You see, this what you have mentioned, A, route A, from gallbladder via the cystic duct and common bile duct and retropancreatically. Retroduodenal. Retroduodenally, they will go to the lymph nodes. Okay, this is the main route. Second route is via the lesser omentum. Via the lesser omentum, they will go to the celiac axis. Third route is cholecystome-mesenteric pathway. They will go to in the posterior aspect behind the pancreas to the aortocaval, interaortocaval, aortic and caval lymph nodes. Okay, one is to the retropancreatic and retroduodenal nodes. Second pathway is to the celiac lymph nodes, and third pathway is more distant, like intercaval and aortocaval, pre-aortic lymph nodes. So even what I mode. The main pathway is to retropancreatic, first A route. B route is to the celiac lymph nodes. Third route is it goes retroperitoneally to the aortocaval lymph nodes. So these are the three routes, and that is the diagrammatic form. Same diagrammatic form. So this is cystic lymph node. You see, this is called lymph node of Lund. Lymph node of Lund. This is the cystic lymph node. This is examination adugutar. These are the other lymph nodes. Just for more clarification, so route A is to the superior pancreaticoduodenal and posterior pancreaticoduodenal. Group A route. B route is to the celiac lymph nodes. Celiac lymph nodes. Third route is retroperitoneally to the para-aortic and inter IVC and aortic group of lymph nodes, and that is very far off. Same. So that is the lymphatic spread. Three routes of lymphatic spread. See, one is retropancreatic, second is to the celiac plexus, third is to the between IVC and pre-aortic and inter aortocaval nodes. Okay, you see, this is the lymphatic metastasis, and the other important is local spread. Local spread to segment 4 and B. It lacks zeros on the surface in contact with the liver. So gallbladder is entirely covered by the serous membrane, but at the gallbladder fossa in the liver, it will not have any peritoneal membrane. Remember that. So the spread is very common in that area to the adjacent 4P and 5 segments. So hematogenous spread to the lungs and liver, and tumor implant. So this is a transcelomic or tumor implant. ఎక్కడెక్కడ రావచ్చు in biopsy tract. Suppose మనం percutaneous biopsy చేసామనుకోండి, ultrasound guided, CT guided, if it is necessary, ఆ tracts లో కూడా it may spread. Or port site. Laparoscopic, ఇంతకుముందు laparoscopic cholecystectomy చేసున్నాం అనుకోండి, and those port sites also there can be tumor implants, and abdominal wound, అంటే abdominal incisions అవి ఏమైనా ఉంటే కూడా there can be tumor implantation. So tumor implantation, hematogenous, direct spread, and lymphatic metastasis. So almost by all routes this can spread. ఈ బొమ్మ రేపు మీరు ఎగ్జామినేషన్ వేశారనుకోండి, వాళ్ళు బిత్తరపోతారు, మీకు 10కి 20 మార్కులు వేస్తారు. సింపుల్ గానే ఉందిగా బొమ్మ, ఏం పవన్? సింపుల్ గా ఉంది. స్ప్రెడ్ అనేసి బొమ్మ వేస్తే ఇంకా మీరు సోదంతా ఏం కూడా రాయక్కర్లేదు. వెరీ గుడ్ ఫిగర్ డయాగ్రామ్. సో క్లినికల్ ప్రెజెంటేషన్, రిమెంబర్, ఇట్ ఈస్ వెరీ వేగ్. It is not typical that this patient might be having carcinoma of the gallbladder, we can say, because most of the cases in early stages they are asymptomatic. If at all there are any symptoms, there will be pain in the right hypochondrium, vomiting, weight loss, loss of appetite, and jaundice and abdominal masses in the late stages. So by the time the patient comes to you, to the hospital with these complaints, you may neglect. You may think some dyspepsia, okay, use these tablets, you go and all those things you will be telling. If the patient comes with mass and jaundice, By the time the patient comes with jaundice and abdominal mass, the patient is in advanced stage of the carcinoma of the gallbladder. Clinical presentation of the most of the patients is almost similar to chronic cholecystitis. So, what is the main symptom of chronic cholecystitis? నిన్న చెప్పాను, flatulent dyspepsia. So, vague abdominal pain, distension, nausea, sometimes vomiting, bloating, flatulence, and all those things were vague symptoms. And if those complaints are associated with weight loss, anorexia, and all those things, then you may, and if the patient is having is of old age, then you have to suspect. See, patients older than 70 years with history of recent weight loss and persistent right upper quadrant pain, think of gallbladder cancer. So the element of suspicion, you have to suspect, that's all. There is no clear cut say that the patient might be suffering from gallbladder. If there is a mass, you can think. Suppose there is a formation of the mass, gallbladder mass in the right hypochondrium, then you may suspect. Because stone disease will not cause enlargement of the gallbladder, according to Kurvaiser's law. So this the gallbladder mass is possible. Definitely, you can suspect it is a globular mass, moves with respiration and all those things. So most of the in early stages, it is asymptomatic. In the symptoms are of vague type, and by the time the patient develops jaundice and abdominal mass, the patient is in advanced carcinoma of the gallbladder, advanced stage of the disease of the gallbladder. See, overall 67 to 75% of patients who present with the symptoms are unresectable due to advanced. Again, symptoms to vachadu ante, definitely he is having advanced disease, and usually they are unresectable. And particularly jaundice is a ominous sign, with only 7% of the patients with jaundice being resectable and none surviving for more than 2 years. For more gadu, and the lifespan is only less than 2 years, 18 months, 1 year, because there will be a lot of metabolic and nutritional disturbances, because the HCC, pancreas, gallbladder, and this cholangiocarcinomas, they are associated with the absorption and nutritional status of the patient, metabolic status of the patient. So there will be intense weight loss and cachexia, malignant cachexia. The 5-year survival rate is very poor, very poor. There is no question of 5-year, as in all these cases in advanced case. And if they live for more than 1 year, it is also great. Okay. So investigations వచ్చేసి non-specific findings. See, investigations in the hypoalbuminemia ఉంటుంది, because the why hypoalbuminemia? Because liver function may be altered, or there may be less intake, loss of appetite, not taking proper diet, leukocytosis may be present, elevated alkaline phosphatase. Remember, when there is elevated alkaline phosphatase, there is some element of obstruction to the biliary flow. Okay, and bilirubin also might be elevated. You remember the tumor marker CEA and 19-9. దేనికి ఇవన్నీ కూడా ఉంటాయి. 19-9 అనగానే what you have to remember? 19-9 CA.
Pancreas.
Tumor marker pancreas. So remember, the same for pancreas is also for biliary, gallbladder, and CBD, and for liver also. Okay, the మొత్తానికి there will be, this is the tumor marker apart from CEA. CEA and CA 19-9 is 75% specificity. Okay, and other modalities, that is the lab tests and tumor markers. Other modalities, what is the important modality? And prior to the advent of ultrasound and CT, gallbladder cancer was rarely diagnosed preoperatively. అంటే ఎప్పుడో మనం పుట్టక ముందు ఎప్పుడో పురాతనంగా. So with the advent of the CT and ultrasound, preoperatively in 75 to 80% of the cases, they are diagnosed preoperatively. Okay. So the first modality best is always ultrasonography. So excellent modality, neural thickening, calcifications, mass more than 1 centimeter diameter, and loss of gallbladder wall and liver interface. So the gallbladder wall, there will be definite demarcation between the gallbladder wall and the liver parenchyma. So that interface, that marking, that delineation will be lost in case of ultrasonography in carcinoma of the gallbladder. And at the same time, you can assess the tumor with a Doppler. So ultrasound mixed with the Doppler, you can assess the blood flow in the areas of the mucous abnormality, can help differentiate early malignancy from benign disease. Suppose there is a polyp, you are doing the benign polyp, you are doing the ultrasound. So at the same time, you do Doppler ultrasound. And you can see the flow into that benign polyp. If the flow is less, it is benign only. Suppose it is having abnormal vascularity, abnormal blood supply and abnormal vascularity, definitely you have to suspect a malignant polyp, polypoidal growth of the malignancy, or the polyp which is turning into malignancy. All these things can be, because there are all advanced studies, but it can be done. And other most important is the endoscopic ultrasound. Endoscopic ultrasound. అంటే ఏంటిది? What is this endoscopic ultrasound? Fast endoscopy. Fast endoscopy, upper GI endoscopy పెడతారు కదా. ఆ duodenum దగ్గరికి పోగానే you can see all these things. If you reach the endoscopy into the duodenum, you can see, it is an endoscopy with ultrasound. So it will give rise to all the structures surrounding the gallbladder and common bile duct. అంటే లివర్ కానీ, తర్వాత ప్యాంక్రియాస్, ఇవన్నీ కూడా లింఫ్ నోడ్స్, ఇవన్నీ కూడా మనకి తెలిసిపోతాయి. And how the growth of the gallbladder, it has penetrated the liver and it has infiltrated into the nodes and it has infiltrated into other structures. All these things can be very clearly seen by endoscopic ultrasound. So ultrasonography, normal abdominal ultrasonography, Doppler ultrasound and endoscopic ultrasound. More రాయండి. And of course, this is the same modality for gallbladder, cholangiocarcinoma, pancreas, hepatocellular. ఎక్కడ వచ్చినా కానీ ఈ మూడు modalities వాడితే the outcome will be better. See, this is ultrasound. This is the gallbladder with the growth, adenocarcinoma of the gallbladder. See, this is the polyp into the gallbladder, which may be turning into malignancy. And remember, it is into the polypoidal type. They usually into the lumen of the gallbladder, so the prognosis will be better. This papillary types, papillary and polypoidal papillary types, they will grow into the lumen of the gallbladder. So there will be less infiltration into the surrounding liver and other structures. So the prognosis will be better in this type of growths, morphological adenocarcinomas. See, in this case, see, this is adenocarcinoma. See, the continuity of the gallbladder wall is missing here. The continuity is missing here. That means it has infiltrated the gallbladder wall. That means it has spread into the 4B and 5 segments of the liver and leg. Okay. So in the previous diagram, see, the gallbladder wall is maintained. This is the tumor. The gallbladder wall is maintained. Whereas in this case, see, the gallbladder wall, there is a discontinuity. That means the growth has infiltrated beyond the serosa into the surrounding structures. So that is what I have told you. The relative to transabdominal kante, the endoscopic ultrasound will give better delineation, and whether it has infiltrated into the surrounding structures, penetration by masses to the other structures and to the regional lymph node enlargement. And you can take endoscopic ultrasound guided biopsy also from the growth. Through the endoscope and ultrasound, you can take the ultrasound guided biopsy also through the endoscope itself. So this is a special advantage of endoscopic ultrasound. And of course, CT scan. Suppose you are not happy with the ultrasound and endoscopic ultrasound reports, then you can go for CT, where you can see the size and extent, nodal or other metastasis, nodal size, and common findings, the mass filling in the gallbladder lumen, polypoid gallbladder mass, or diffuse gallbladder wall thickening. So, are qualified, infiltrative, or nodular, all these things can be delineated very clearly with CT scan. Okay, apart from involvement of the lymph nodes. See, this is the adenocarcinoma. This is the gallbladder. This is the adenocarcinoma, carcinoma of the gallbladder. And probably this is early stage because the gallbladder wall is maintained. Probably early stage. Because this patient is, and it itself is advanced. Once there is a growth in the gallbladder, the patient has come to the hospital, means already advanced. But when compared to the infiltration to the surrounding liver, this is better, a little early stage. Okay. See, in this case, the growth, this is the gallbladder, the growth is infiltrating the portal vein, is coming very close to the portal vein. This is the portal vein, and is coming very close to the portal vein. Okay, so these are all very ominous signs. Local invasion into the portal vein. So then it is already advanced stage, and the prognosis is extremely difficult because you have to resect that portal vein, you have to do anastomosis and all those things, and the morbidity, and already the patients are very old, and cachectic, malignant cachexia is present, anorexia, asthenia, and all those things are present, and the mortality and prognosis are very bad. So this the next one is MRI. MRI and MRCP, this also can be done. So depending on the requirement, in some cases, depending on the availability of the infrastructure, extent of liver involvement, lymph node involvement, biliary evaluation and involvement of hepatic vessels, malignant stricture of the common bile ducts as the cause of the jaundice. All these things can be better delineated than CT scan and other investigations. So, depending on the requirement, depending on the doubt you are having, you can go for MRI also. And of course, PET scan is for knowing the distant metastasis. What is the substance used in PET scan? PET scan ఏం వాడతారు? 18 ఏం వినపట్లేదా? అవును,
వినిపిస్తుంది సార్.
మరి పెట్ స్కాన్ ఏం వాడతారంటే చెప్పరే? టెక్నీషియం 99 లేబుల్ 18 FDG. వెరీ గుడ్, 18 FDG అనుష చెప్పింది. 18 FDG అంటే F 18 ఫ్లోరో 2 డిఆక్సీ 2 గ్లూకోజ్, అది ఉంది రైట్. తర్వాత ది నెక్స్ట్ మొడాలిటీ ఈస్ biopsy. Next modality is biopsy. So is it necessary? Mark suspicious for gallbladder carcinoma by imaging. అంటే మనం suppose the patient has come to you with gallbladder swelling, or you have suspected carcinoma of the gallbladder. So you have done that ultrasound and ultrasound endoscopy and all those things, CT scan, some various other modalities, tumor markers you have done. So if there is a strong evidence, if definitely you know that is a carcinoma of the gallbladder, no biopsy is necessary. No need for biopsy before definitive exploration and resection. You remember this point. Okay? And patient needs ERCP and PET for obstructive jaundice cases. Kada? Suppose the patient with carcinoma of the gallbladder with involvement of lymph nodes and pressing on the common bile duct, and the patient has come with obstructive jaundice. This is very rare with the carcinoma of the gallbladder. It is very common with the carcinoma of the cholangiocarcinoma. Carcinoma is common bile duct. So if the patient comes with jaundice, so then you have to naturally ERCP or PTC, depending on the requirement, you have to do. And you can take the through endoscopy, you can take that washings for cytology. An unresectable disease needs tissue diagnosis for palliative chemotherapy. Okay, so you have done ultrasound or CT. Definitely, you are knowing that it is a gallbladder carcinoma. Then no biopsy is necessary. Suppose in ultrasound and CT, the carcinoma is already advanced. So going to TNM, T4, T3 like that, with N1, N2 and all those things. So in such cases, resection is not possible, only palliative treatment. In such cases, you can go for biopsy. Ultrasound guided or CT guided FNAC biopsy you can take. Okay? అర్థమైంది పాయింట్. అల్ట్రాసౌండ్ ఆర్ సిటీ తోటి మీకు you know that is definitely gallbladder carcinoma, biopsy is not necessary. FNAC or biopsy is not necessary. Okay. And with the ultrasound and CT guided, if you think that it is not resectable because the extensive spread to the distant organs and all those things, if you think it is not resectable, then you can take biopsy under these guidances. Okay, under ultrasound or CT guided or USG guided biopsies, FNACs can be taken. Then the patient presents with obstructive jaundice, అప్పుడు బెటర్ వచ్చేసి ERCP and PTC. Okay, so this is the biopsy modalities. ఇట్లా ఈ మూడు చిన్న చిన్న పాయింట్లు మీరు తెలుసుకోవాలి. అండ్ ప్రీ ఆపరేటివ్ లాప్రోస్కోపీ ఇవన్నీ చేశాక కూడా సపోజ్ స్టిల్ యూ వాంట్ టు స్టేజ్ ది డిసీజ్, యూ డూ ప్రీ ఆపరేటివ్ లాప్రోస్కోపీ. సో డయాగ్నోస్టిక్ లాప్రోస్కోపీ యూ కెన్ డూ. In selected cases, laparoscopic examination is useful in staging the disease. Suppose you are doing the laparoscopy. See, in laparoscopy you can see multiple deposits in the mesentery and momentum and all those things. Then it is very advanced. See, gross peritoneal metastasis, that means it's very advanced disease where resection is not possible. Then so you will not go for major surgeries on these patients. You just give only palliative chemotherapies and radiotherapies, whatever is feasible. Okay, so these are all the various modalities: lab tests, tumor markers, ultrasound, CT, MRI, PET scan. Ultrasound lo ultrasound, abdominal ultrasound, Doppler ultrasound and ultrasound, endoscopic ultrasound. Okay, తర్వాత diagnostic laparoscopy. Okay, all these modalities depending on the requirement you will do, and you will assess and you will go for treatment. And this the treatment is depending on the TNM staging. The TIS is carcinoma in situ. T1 is spread to mucosa and muscle layer. T1A is only mucosa. T1B is spread to muscle layer. There is no submucosa. Remember, in gallbladder there will not be any submucosa. T1A is mucosa involvement. T1B is spread to muscularis propria. T2 is spread to subserosa. Kada? Muscularis tarvata serosa anage subserosa. And T3 is spread beyond serosa or one adjacent organ or less than 2 centimeters to the liver. Adjacent organs ante enti duodenum లేకపోతే bile ducts, okay, or liver or కొంచెం stomach. If there is a slight involvement beyond the subserosa to the adjacent organs, it is stage 3. Stage 4 means spread the liver involvement is more than 2 centimeters or 2 or more adjacent organs involvement like CBD, stomach, duodenum, colon, momentum. So colon, momentum వీటికి కూడా spread అవుతుంది కదా. They are all very close to the gallbladder. So if more than 2 adjacent organs are involved, spread to the liver is more than 2 centimeters, it is T4. Okay. N1 is spread to the cystic nodes and portal nodes, portohepatis and hepaticoduodenal ligament. N2 is spread to peripancreatic celiac, and local lymph nodes. N1 is local lymph nodes. N2 is going to the celiac lymph nodes and paratic superior mesenteric lymph nodes. Okay. Metastasis M1 is the presence of distant metastasis. ఇది కొంచెం ఇది కూడా తెలుసుకోండి, దీని మీద ఆధారపడి ట్రీట్మెంట్. అండ్ స్టేజింగ్ ఆఫ్ కార్సినోమా ఆఫ్ ది గాల్ బ్లాడర్, నెవిన్స్ స్టేజింగ్. ఎంత 5 నిమిషాలు ఇంకా. సో స్టేజింగ్, నెవిన్ స్టేజింగ్. స్టేజ్ 1 is intramural, stage 2 spread to muscularis propria, stage 3 spread to serosa, stage 4 spread to cystic lymph node of lung. So that is early spread. And stage 5 direct spread to adjacent organs and metastasis. So definitive surgery. So the treatment modality is surgery, tumor debulking. So wherever possible, we remove the tumor. So but the tumor is the definitive surgery. For surgery is the main modality for the carcinoma of the gallbladder. Should include en-bloc resection of the gallbladder with 2 centimeter margin, or anatomic resection of the liver segments 4B and 5. So gallbladder spread in the body, it has spread beyond the serosa into the liver. So 2 centimeters margin, always you must excise the liver tissue. If that is not possible, you do 4B and 5. It is closely related to these segments. And if this cannot be performed with an adequate margin, then extended right hepatectomy. అంటే ఏంటి? ఎక్స్టెండెడ్ రైట్ హెపటెక్టమీ అంటే మొత్తం రైట్ లో మొత్తం అలాగే విత్ 4. ఆ గాల్ బ్లాడర్ క్యాన్సర్ తో పాటు ఎంటైర్ రైట్ లో అలాగే విత్ సెగ్మెంట్ 4 ఆన్ ది లెఫ్ట్ సైడ్ ఆఫ్ ది లెఫ్ట్ సర్జికల్ లో. మన ఈ నామక్లేచర్ చెప్పాను కదా, ఎక్స్టెండెడ్ రైట్ హెపటెక్టమీ అంటే ఏంటి, ఎక్స్టెండెడ్ లెఫ్ట్ హెపటెక్టమీ అంటే ఏంటి, లోబెక్టమీ అంటే ఏంటి, తర్వాత ట్రైసెగ్మెంటెక్టమీ, ఇవన్నీ కూడా కొంచెం తెలుసుకోండి. ట్రైసెగ్మెంటెక్టమీ ఆర్ ఎక్స్టెండెడ్ హెపటెక్టమీ ఆల్మోస్ట్ సేమ్. ఓకే. And the resection must be done in conjunction with regional lymphadenectomy and negative cystic duct margin. So this is very important. Resection చేయగానే సరికాదు. సో మొత్తం regional lymph nodes in the region of Kellogg's triangle or common bile duct, ఇక్కడ ఉన్నటువంటి regional lymph nodes మొత్తం తీసేయాలి with negative cystic duct margin, because we are excising the cystic duct కదా, క్లాంప్ వేసేస్తాం కదా, క్లిప్స్ వేసేస్తాం కదా, and that margin must be negative. If a negative margin cannot be obtained on the cystic duct, then bile duct resection. So if you cannot maintain that negative cystic duct margin, then entire bile duct, the common hepatic duct, common bile duct, everything must be removed with hepaticojejunostomy. With hepaticojejunostomy is to be performed. ఈ diagrammatic form లో కూడా ఉన్నాయి. Previously resected gallbladder with cancer అంటే ఏం చేయాలి? ఇది చూడండి, ఇది మీకు బాగా అర్థం అవుతుంది. సపోజ్ there is a lap cholecystectomy has been done for cholecystitis or cholelithiasis అనుకొని they have done lap cholecystectomy కదా, 4 ports తెలుస్తున్నాయి కదా, lap cholecystectomy. So this is the gallbladder specimen. Once we remove the gallbladder, naturally we will send to the histopathological examination. So histopathology reveals carcinoma. So we are not having any suspicion. The patient is having symptoms of chronic cholecystitis and cholelithiasis. We have done routinely laparoscopic cholecystectomy and we have sent the specimen to the histopathology. It reveals carcinoma, T1A or TIS, carcinoma in situ, or T1A అంటే infiltration of the mucosa. So అది వచ్చింది అన్నమాట histopathology report. Then you have to see the cystic duct margin, because you have done the cystic duct clamp వేసి తీశారు కదా, you have to verify this margin also. If it is tumor free, The cystic duct margin is negative, that means tumor free, only excision of the port sides. And laparoscopy is report see the tumor can spread through implantation to the port sides. So ఈ port sides ని exercise చేస్తే చాలు. ఈ exercise చేసి మళ్ళీ సూచి చేస్తాం. Okay, so this is during operation, after operation. These are all after operation. But we do not know the definite diagnosis. Okay, so cystic duct kuda margin negative aithe port excision is sufficient. Cystic duct margin is positive, that means ఈ పార్ట్ లో కూడా హిస్టోపెథాలజీ చేసినప్పుడు ఇక్కడ కూడా మ్యాలిగ్నెన్సీ ఉంది అనుకో, then you have to do re-exploration. అప్పుడు see then this radical cholecystectomy must be done. Okay, radical cholecystectomy అంటే ఏంటి, or extended radical cholecystectomy అంటే along with, because already gallbladder has been removed. So post-operatively diagnosis has come with the cystic duct margin positive. So appudu valla open chesi 4B and 5 common bile duct, mattam common bile duct, common hepatic duct, and all these lymph nodes, everything will be removed. Just because cystic duct is positive, ఈ మొత్తాన్ని తీసేసి they will do Roux-en-Y hepatico-jejunostomy. Okay, as previous slides explanation తో పాటు బొమ్మలు చూస్తే మీకు అర్థం. ఓకే, తర్వాత you have done lap cholecystectomy, histopathology of the operated specimen. Histopathology reveals 2B or beyond. 2B అంటే మస్కులర్ సెరోజా దాటిపోయింది, ఇందాక ఓన్లీ ఇట్ ఈస్ 1A, T2, T1. So this is 2B, and that means it has encroached the serosa, and beyond అంటే serosa ని కూడా infiltrate చేసి it is going into the liver. So that is the situation of the tumor report in this case. Shalini, good morning. So after 6 weeks you do re-exploration. So ఇది వచ్చింది histopathology లో advanced, a little advanced carcinoma, moderately advanced 2B or beyond. Then again dissection of the 4B and 5, dissection of the remnant cystic duct, regional lymphadenectomy, and excision of all port sides చేయాలి. ఓకే, ఇది port sides అంటే ఈ ఏరియా మొత్తాన్ని మళ్ళీ ఎక్సైజ్ చేయాలి, ఎందుకంటే ఇక్కడ ది మాలిగ్నెంట్ సెల్స్ విల్ బి ఇన్ఫిల్ట్రేటెడ్. అంటే మనం గాల్ బ్లాడర్ ఆ స్పెసిమన్స్ తీసినప్పుడు some of the cells may get inoculated here, they were implanted here, they may cause secondary deposits. So that is called port site excision. So if it is advanced disease after cholecystectomy, okay, this is the thing. So re-exploration, even if it is stage 1 also you have to do re-exploration. If T1 also, if T2 aithe kuda same re-exploration, you do same procedure. And you have diagnosed the carcinoma of the gallbladder pre-operatively. So laparoscopy చేస్తున్నావు pre-operatively. So before doing cholecystectomy you have, because you are under laparoscopy kada, you have explored the gallbladder, you are having suspicion of malignancy. So when there is suspicion of malignancy, simple cholecystectomy is not sufficient. Then conversion to open. Some people will take a small tissue from here, do frozen section biopsy. So it gives malignancy. Suspicion unna gaani, or the frozen section lo malignancy unna gaani, you immediately convert to open and do cholecystectomy. And if frozen section reveals carcinoma, you go for radical cholecystectomy. Okay, pre-operative ga during laparoscopy, if you see this situation. And pre-operatively diagnosed advanced carcinoma 2A or 2B అంటే T3 అంటే it has crossed beyond the gallbladder. See, crossed beyond the gallbladder into the liver, into the lymph nodes. So in such cases laparoscopy to rule out peritoneal seedings. సో పెరిటోనియల్ సీడింగ్స్ ఉంటే ఇట్ హ్యాస్ గాన్ టు వెరీ అడ్వాన్స్ T4 కి వెళ్ళిపోయింది, T4 కి వెళ్ళిపోయింది, M1 కి వెళ్ళిపోయింది. సో ఈజ్ వెరీ సపోజ్ దేర్ ఆర్ నో పెరిటోనియల్ సీడింగ్స్, యూ కెన్ డూ ఎక్స్టెండెడ్ కోలిసిస్టెక్టమీ అంటే 4B 4-5 లింఫ్ నోడ్స్, గాల్ బ్లాడర్, ఈ కామన్ బైల్ డక్ట్, ఇక్కడ ఉన్న లింఫ్ నోడ్స్ కూడా అంటే పారాయాటిక్ గ్రూప్ ఆఫ్ లింఫ్ నోడ్స్, ఇంటర్ అయోర్టో క్యావల్ లింఫ్ నోడ్స్ ఇవన్నీ కూడా తీసేయాలి. దీస్ ఆర్ ఆల్ ది స్ట్రక్చర్స్ దట్ ఆర్ రిమూవ్డ్ ఇన్ ఎక్స్టెండెడ్ కోలిసిస్టెక్టమీ. ఓకే, సో మీరు ఆ థియరీతో పాటు ఈ బొమ్మలు కూడా చూసుకోండి. అండ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ T4 ఆర్ ఎనీ స్టేజ్, T4 ఎనీ స్టేజ్ వచ్చిందనుకో సేమ్ రిసెక్షన్, మల్టీ ఆర్గాన్ రిసెక్షన్. ఇప్పుడు అంటే T4 అంటే ఈ కోలార్ వచ్చింది అనుకోండి, కొంచెం ట్రాన్స్వర్స్ కోలార్ కూడా లేపేస్తారు. ఓకే, అండ్ పోర్టల్ వెయిన్ వచ్చింది అనుకోండి, ఆ పోర్టల్ వెయిన్ కూడా రిసెక్ట్ చేసేసి దే విల్ డూ సమ్ ప్రాస్థెసిస్ అండ్ ఆల్ దోస్ థింగ్స్. సో దిస్ ఈస్ వెరీ అడ్వాన్స్డ్ డిసీజ్. దే విల్ ట్రై రిసెక్షన్, sometimes resection of the main portal vein and multi-organ resection will be done. And in such cases, extensive morbidity, the morbidity and mortality will be more. See, results of the treatment are depending on the mode of surgery and T&M grading. And if it is stage 4, that means any T with metastasis, only palliative resections are not possible, only palliative treatment for relief of pain, relief of jaundice. So endoscopic stenting and percutaneous stenting. And chemotherapy, gemcitabine, latest gemcitabine with cisplatin and oxaliplatin. So 5-fluorouracil. All these things are given as a palliative management. So these are the palliative procedures that it is. So gemcitabine, gemcitabine with cisplatin is the correct standard treatment for patients with advanced cancers. So adjuvant therapies తెలుసుకోండి. This is cholangiocarcinoma, carcinoma అది CBD. ఇవి కూడా సింపుల్ స్లైడ్స్ అన్ని మీరు చూసుకోండి, అర్థం అవుతాయి. టుమారో ఆ కోలిడాకల్ సిస్, బైల్ డక్ట్ ఇంజరీస్, గాల్ బ్లాడర్ పూర్తి చేస్తాము. ఎల్లుండి సెలవు కదా, ఇక మండే నుంచి we will start the revision classes what you have requested and clinics. Okay, Pavan, okay na?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. ఇప్పుడు మీకు ఏదో ఉంది క్లాస్ గైనిక్ కదా మేడం?
గైనిక్ ఉంది సార్.